Shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises unto Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders, a great millstone, and honors to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. And this is just going to be a quick video on a situation that's happening in France as we speak. Basically, the job I do, I work with insurance, which also deals with breakdown, and I just had a British couple who are over there in France call up because basically they've only got a small amount of petrol remaining in their vehicle, and every petrol station they go to is out of petrol, so they're looking for salvation. They're looking for someone to save them, someone to come and bring them some petrol. All right, otherwise they're up shit's creek. And that's just a little taste of what's going to come upon the whole world, man, in its perfection in the time to come. Because in the time to come, all resources are going to become scarce. All right, and it might not be that these resources are not on the earth. It's just going to be a case of they're not going to be where you are, and you are going to be unable to get them resources, and you're going to be in trouble. Okay, you're going to be unable to heat your home, unable to use your vehicle. You're going to be unable to eat or cook. All right, there's going to be some serious problems, and mainly in these cities, man, in the West, where they're not used to they're used to resources being brought to them. All right, now this is French truckers strike threatens chaos, which if you're a trucker, your job is basically becoming obsolete now because they got driverless trucks. But it says Britons traveling in France could be caught in a damaging strike next week. UK hauliers are also set to be hit by the threatened stoppage by French truckers' unions. The French workers are poised to start road blockades from 9 p.m. on Sunday should last-ditch talks in the pay and conditions row fail to produce a settlement. They are bound to target ports, and that will hit both hauliers and trippers, said Geoff Dussiter of the UK's Freight Transport Association. So this was it says, we hope this does not turn out to be as devastating as the strikes in the late 1990s, where the British freight transport industry was severely hit by lengthy action by French transport workers in both 1996 and 1997. There were numerous roadblocks set up around French, and some UK lorry drivers were stranded for days at a time. Since then, there have been isolated short strikes, but has been mainly quiet. So these things happen, and basically they're like a little taste of what's going to happen. Because what's going to happen is, once everything crashes, the economy crashes and so forth, and war breaks out, resources ain't going to be scarce for 1 or 2 days and then the strike is over. It's going to be scarce for the foreseeable future. So you ain't going to be stuck for 2 days. You're going to be stuck for the foreseeable future, man. And what you going to do then? Okay, because you're going to be looking for someone to bail you out, and the people that normally bail you out is looking for someone to bail them out. So how about that? Let's get this one. So this is from today. This is for fortune.com, and it says strikes bring shortages in hundreds of French petrol stations, which I can attest to that because I just had a couple calling up with the issue. It says hundreds of petrol stations face shortages in France on Saturday as protests over a labour law reform led to a fall in refinery output and blockades that hampered fuel supply and prompted consumer panic. France has been hit by a wave of strikes over the past week after President Francois Hollande's socialist government opted to force the unpopular labour market reforms through the lower house of parliament without a vote. Total had to shut down production units at 3 refineries in Donges, Phasing and Normandy, while deliveries from its Grand Puits refineries were blocked by protesters, prompting output to run at reduced flow. Now, what happens in the event of a war if the Russians do a strike on them oil refineries? These people are gonna learn, man. The Lord has got a perfect storm of terror and death and confusion coming down the pipeline, man. And these little things that happen is just a taste of what's gonna happen in its perfection, man. All right? You're gonna get people when all hell breaks loose, that they're gonna be stranded in countries they don't belong in, with no hope of getting back where they're from. It's gonna be some serious shit. Um, uh, let's get this precept. This is Daniel 12:1. It says, "And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book." Now it says there's going to be a time that there was never, because basically there's just going to be mass tribulation on the earth. And the way that the resources are set up on the earth at the moment is most places are not are independent when it comes to resources. They rely on resources being brought from one place to where they are. Okay, petrol, food, water. Okay, especially in the West, it's highly reliant on a very complex logistical system, which is, if that system breaks down for the foreseeable future, there's going to be nothing but death and chaos, man, to look forward to. And that's going to happen, you know? So with that, I'm going to say shalom.